I feel very fortunate, very, very grateful to be here with these guys. I think we got a really special team, and the guys in the locker room, it's a fun group to be a part of. It's been fun playing for these coaches, working with Shane and his whole staff. But I've really enjoyed being here.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the Giants letting go of your old head coach, Brian Dable. I mean, what is just your reaction to that?
Yeah, I just kind of heard about it recently, and obviously you never want to see anyone fired. It's an unfortunate part of this business. So yeah, I think that's the reaction, and hope for the best for him and everybody there in New York.
One of the things I was thinking about before coming to sit down with you was like how different your trips home from Germany must have been year over year, right? Like last year, you're 2-8. This year, you're 8-2. I mean, the obvious question is like, how much better is that flight? But I kind of like want to almost zoom out a little bit more. Like over the course of that year, like what do you think was, other than the change of scenery, of course, like for you, what changed the most in making sure that the emotions of that flight are different?
Yeah, I mean, definitely very different trips back from Germany. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot goes into it, and you learn a lot, along the way, and from different experiences and different times. And I feel like I've done that, and then yeah, I mean, I can't say enough good things about this team and being with these guys. Playing for these coaches and that part of it's been really fun. So Jonathan Taylor running for 244 and 3 touchdowns helps everybody's playing right.
Yeah, you took me right there with the JT mention. You see the Wisconsin banner in the background. I've been watching him since he was a freshman coming on the scene there. What is it about when you turn around to hand that ball off to him? Like, what are you thinking? Or like, what's going through your mind when he's about to take off down the field?
Yeah, I think you're thinking something good's gonna happen. Pretty much every time he touches it, he makes something good happen for us. And yeah, he's been so consistent this whole season, running the ball. He's been good, out of the backfield catching the ball as well on screen passes or check downs, whatever it is. He's just a guy, with the ball in his hands is dangerous. So, been huge for our offense, and tough to think there's a anyone in the league playing better than him right now.
Yeah, I mean, kind of going off that, is Dave getting thrown around in the MVP conversation? Like, what do you think of that?
I think it's spot on. He's yeah, I don't know exactly what the numbers are or how the numbers compare to past MVP winners, but I'd say I'd be real surprised if they weren't right there or not, if not better than a lot of those guys. So he's had an incredible season for us so far, and excited to see what he does down the stretch.
When you were with the Giants, you had Saquon Barkley in the backfield, shared a backfield with him, another elite back. Like, what are the main similarities between those two guys in your mind?
I think there's a number of similarities. I think for one, just um, their physicality, but also their ability to outrun anybody on the defense and take it the distance. I don't think there's too many guys in the league who have kind of both sides of that, where they're breaking tackles or running through the line of scrimmage and bouncing off of guys, and then if you give them some daylight, are gonna take it the distance. So I think that's unique to those guys. I've been fortunate to play with both of them. And the other thing I'd say is they just both have a very optimistic, positive mindset. Kind of bringing guys together and great leaders in the locker room.
I mean, he's not the only Colt in the MVP conversation. You've kind of been tossed around in there a little bit as well. I know you're not a guy who's paying attention to those things, who buys into those things, but like when you hear that, what do you think?
I mean, it's certainly not a bad thing, but yeah, a lot ahead of us, a lot of work to do, and I feel very fortunate, very very grateful to be here with these guys. I think we got a really special team, and the guys in the locker room, or it's a fun group to be a part of. It's been fun playing for these coaches, working with Shane and his whole staff. But yeah, I've really enjoyed being here.
Yeah, you mentioned working with Shane and the offensive staff, obviously. Was there a moment, could have been during the off season, like just one practice, could have been a week during the regular season? Like, was there a time where you really felt things click into place for you when it came to almost mastering this offense?
I don't know. I mean, I do remember some practices right after training camp, kind of those practices in between training camp and week one, where you're not all the way in game plan mode and you're still, practicing against your defense and running your core plays. And I remember, a couple practices where Shane was out there calling it kind of off script and making it up as he went, and hey, let's try this or let's try that. And it was somewhat collaborative where I was suggesting things and we'd try that. And a lot of, I think, just that kind of that process of communicating, of trying different things, of seeing if we can come up with a good idea or good idea there to depending on what the defense is doing, and just working with Shane that way has been a lot of fun. I think that started in camp, and you kind of got a sense for it towards the end of camp.
I like want to ask a football nerd question, but I don't like understand enough to make it the best question it could possibly be. But I know that Greg Olson, for example, was talking about how throwing out of heavy personnel has kind of been one of the defining offensive aspects of this entire NFL season for the successful teams. So, like for you, when you're throwing with multiple tight ends on the field, like rookie tight end Tyler Warren, for example, or just heavier personnel, like what are some things that you're looking for when you're out there in those formations, but throwing the ball?
Yeah, I think for one, I mean, I think our coaching staff does a really good job scheming some of that stuff up and uh, finding things within the defense to attack week to week, and sometimes it comes out of bigger people, sometimes it comes out of lighter sets, but I think when you do get in heavier people, obviously your threat to run the ball and um, they've got to account for that and be able to defend that, especially when you have someone like Jonathan Taylor. But we've also done a really good job complementing that with some play action shots or different pass game concepts that get guys like Tyler open. And I think when you have tight ends who are versatile, like Tyler, like Mo, like Tree, I think all those guys are huge for those plays working.
How does Daniel Jones spend a bye week? Are you a trip guy? Are you a chilling at home kind of guy? Like what's on the docket for you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna relax. Not taking any tropical vacation, but just yeah, I think you just try to recover physically. From the first half of the season and get your body back to where it needs to be. And then there's a review and a study in yourself, self scout type piece of it too. So I'll do that, but enjoy some downtime and recovering.
I love being able to get to Indianapolis every year for the combine. Have you had a chance to try the shrimp cocktail from St. Elmo yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. I've got the St. Elmo shrimp cocktails, legendary stuff. Yeah, I've been there a few times. Really, really fun spot.
Great spice, open you right up, and sinuses does wonders. All right, Daniel. One last thing here before we get you out of here. We run this series. It's called In My Bag. So it's more about not like a time where you maybe had your best play or your most highlight reel worthy rep, but something where you look back on it and you're like, man, I was really in my bag for a second there. Like, what is Daniel Jones's in my bag moment?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, I was thinking about the game yesterday. I thought, obviously, kind of back and forth wasn't the cleanest game in a lot of senses. I thought things I could have done better, certainly to help us out. But we made some plays down the stretch that helped in the fourth quarter and the overtime period, and guys came up big in a couple of spots, and obviously JT, but Tyler did a great job, and I threw him a couple passes that maybe that was a piece of it, but Yeah, fun win for us yesterday.